Our lives are a string of insights, flashes of inspiration that can be the catalyst for new ideas. However, our pace of life these days means we tend to miss some of them completely. I'm Dave Hill, and I'm the host of the Simple Reflections podcast, a fortnightly series of interviews with people from all walks of life. Our conversations are an invitation to reflect on some of the simple insights my guests have had that have gone on to have a profound impact on their lives. So grab a cuppa and a biscuit, join us, slow down for a little while and see what shows up for you. Welcome to the next episode of the Simple Reflections podcast. Today I'm joined by a wonderful young man called Prince Jimmar. Prince is one of the co-founders and the executive director for an organization called Rebels for Peace in Chicago. They work with young people that are in need of a bit of support, and they're doing an amazing job. And as I've just heard, they've been doing that for the last 9 years, and I know they've touched thousands of lives in that time. I also hear that someone may have just won an award at the weekend, so we'll maybe start with that. Prince, it's lovely to have you. Thank you so much for coming and joining us. Would you be able to give us a sort of 30-second burst on what Rebels for Peace is all about, and the work that you're doing with your team, and the award that you've just won? That'd be amazing.
Yes, thank you, Dave, for having me on the podcast. Super excited, super grateful. I'm here on behalf of Chicago, Southside, representing our youth. I'm Prince Jimmar, co-founder and executive director for Rebels for Peace, a youth-led initiative empowering youth 4th through 8th grade and social and emotional learning, as well as 16 through 24-year-olds through a 6-week immersive internship that is all about guiding them back to themselves and paying them to rebel against one thing in them that's holding them back from becoming the best version of themselves, and creating safe spaces and exposing them to different industries and leaders so that they can see what's possible when you wake up every day and work towards just becoming a better you and being mindful around yourself and others. And the award, the Breaking It Down award that I received this Friday, what I'm extremely grateful for, was an Emerging Leaders Award that is celebrating upcoming leaders in Chicago who are heavily invested in supporting the community. And 4 people received an award. I was one of them. I was extremely grateful. This is my first public award that I received on behalf of the organization and myself. And it's just an honor to be recognized. Like you said, for the last 9 years, we've been working, and this will be the 6th year we've been in the schools. So it's amazing.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, congratulations, and thoroughly well deserved. And as you say, receiving it on behalf of the whole team, and yeah, that it's not surprising. It's surprising to hear it's your first one, I suppose, but it's not surprising to hear that you've been recognised for the work that you're doing. Um, I would love to know how Rebels for Peace all started. Probably 10 years ago. What was going through young Prince's mind that went, right, what are we doing and how do we change things and why? That'd be a
Yeah.
really cool thing to hear, I think.
Yes. Well, Young Prince was a rebel. So Young Prince was misguided, misunderstood, misheard, loud, passionate, uh, disconnected. I came a long way from not being able to express how I feel or really look at the man in the mirror. And I'm the oldest of 3. So I got 2 younger siblings, a little brother and a little sister. Come from a single mother, strong woman named Crystal Burns. She is a big inspiration on why I do what I do and why I am who I am, just by having her create peace in my life and in the community, or regardless of what we had going on. she always made sure I had peace in my life, and that's how like a big thing that I always connected back to. That's what I stand for. That's what like a big thing of the origin is because I come from peace and being loved and appreciated just for existing. And you know, I'm from the west side, south side of Chicago, and pretty much my upbringing is what started Rebels for Peace. I was a trouble student. I got kicked out of like 6 different schools. So during that time, I'm just out here, like I'm getting kicked out of school. I'm not being brought into programs. I'm not being brought in or heard or like somebody like, let me help you. I'm just being put out. Or I'm just being, exiled. There's no real love for me when I was going through trying to find myself and not really knowing how to be present, always in the future, always in the past, and just not present enough for myself or my family or the goals and things that I needed to get done. And this, I ended up after I graduated from high school, 'cause I did after all that kicking out, I still did graduate, and I ended up going to Mississippi. When I went to Jackson, Mississippi, took care of my grandfather for 2 years in the South, and I had never been out Chicago. And I took care of him until he passed away. And during that time, I had lost a lot of friends. Like in that 2 year time since when I graduated from high school, over 5 friends to
Wow.
violence, over 10 plus friends incarcerated for long periods of time, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And this all going on when I left. Like these my friends, these are people I grew up with. And I'm just noticing how everything changing. And when I came back, I wanted to be a part of something different. Like I said, I was a rebel before I left. I wasn't connected. I wasn't trying to be the change that I want to see. And I didn't really have no love that I was able to share for nobody. But when I came back, I wanted to do something different. Like I had a different approach being away and feeling the pain of what was going on with my friends and family. So when I came back, it was all about being a rebel for peace. I had been
Mm.
a rebel my whole life, but rebelling against my mother, rebelling against the right thing, rebelling against school, rebelling against anything that was pushing me to be better or to take accountability. I always rebelled against that, and I wanted to be better. So I became a rebel for peace. And that was all about being the change that I wanted to see and rebelling against all of the negativity that was in the community, that was in the household, that was normalized amongst my people, that we could rebel against that. And that's what I started doing. And through my own actions, I became a better version of myself, as well as Dejan White, the other co-founder, who we really wanted to just be better. We seen all of the violence, we seen all of the friends and different things that we were losing, and we wanted to say, okay, well, what could we do? And we created the Rebels for Peace. So that started from conversations that was being held in the house on the south side of Chicago to then transitioning to an internship that was a 6 week experience to pay youth to focus on their mental health and well-being. A lot of times that's not normal in our neighborhood where we come from to have access or opportunities to be invested in to become better versions of us. And that's something that we wanted to create. So 9 years ago, that's what started. And as well as, Mara and Eric, our One Solution family, investing in us and creating a safe space for us to be able to go all in on this journey and opening up different opportunities and avenues for us to be a part of to see what was possible for ourselves and our community and for growth. So from there, it's like a movie for me. Like I said, that was 9 years ago. So since then, we just been growing.
Mm.
Internship, started. And then from there, we started doing food drives. We were feeding thousands of people on Thanksgiving. We were doing toys and coat drives. We were giving away 500 plus toys and coats to youth and family on the South Side. We started doing basketball tournaments where we would rent out gyms, buy trophies, have referees and snacks, and had the community out, just doing a bunch of different things to create peace and to spread love in the community. And then we said, hey, we want to figure out what are we gonna do? What is some direct impact that we could continuously make and measure? So from the 6 week internship, we decided we would create a 25-week program. And that 25-week program is what birthed the mini rebels. That's our fourth through eighth grade initiative that, excuse me, we hire 18 through 24-year-olds that are from the community, train them and get them licensed in social and emotional learning. And then they're able to go back into the community and lead these 25-week sessions with youth from the community for the community. And that's been happening for the last 6 years. So we started off virtually around COVID. So we were on Zoom and we had all the kids on there, and it was just this big thing. And then after that, the schools is like, y'all have to come into the schools. So at that point, it was only a 13-week program. It became 25 weeks after the second year
Mhm.
because we realized that the youth needed more. They needed consistency. Like after the 13 weeks, they were like, okay, what's next? So we decided to extend the program to 25 weeks to where we're with the youth from the beginning to the end of the school year. So we started in two schools, 200 students. We got a contract with the Office of Social and Emotional Learning, who invested $250,000 in us to be able to go from just working with young Black men to then including our young women, because all the young ladies wanted to be rebels for peace, as well as including our EL, Spanish, and bilingual students by hiring bilingual facilitators, because I saw that that was a huge need
Mhm.
that we were having. A lot of students coming in that also needed assistance that don't speak English, and that was the biggest thing. Like we wanted to reach every youth. So that investment allowed us to scale up and go from two schools to six schools, 600 plus students. And Rebels for Peace just been rocking out ever since. We also have traveled. We work with athletes, like certain teams. We done worked with businesses. We done worked in orphanages and juveniles. We done work, all over the world with
Mhm.
spreading our message, influencing other youth that what's possible when you invest in yourself, when you believe in something, and when you, be the change you want to see, like I always say. So that's
Yeah.
pretty much what the journey has been so far. It's just us going all in on the rebels and specifically the rebels for peace. Um, that being so much bigger than me. Like now, like it used to just be Dejan and me, and that was the rebels for peace. And now the rebels for peace is like so much more than the vision that we initially had. And like you said, we've been able to host over 20,000 youth sessions and impact thousands of youth over the years. So
Yeah.
it's amazing.
It is amazing. It is amazing. I'm sitting here with sore cheeks. I've been smiling while I've been listening to you. Um, it, you know, knowing what you know now, if you took that back to yourselves as you were sitting down 9 years ago, right, going, right, we're going to start doing something. Um, I can probably say with complete confidence that you wouldn't have been able to picture what you're doing now. But what do you think you guys would have thought in terms with what you've managed to create? What do you think you'd have thought if you'd known this was possible? Would that have made you go harder and faster, or just sucked it up and got on with what was in front of you?
I feel like I might have been overwhelmed
Yeah, that's fair.
if I would have known like exactly what was gonna happen. I also felt like it wasn't meant like for me to know just because of that's what made me who I am today.
Mm.
So I think about like the journey in a way that's like I be trying to tell the youth now, it's not easy, and that's what I feel like I would really soak in the most on. It's not easy. And when you do the wrong thing in your life and you transition like to do the right thing or to be better, if you was on the dark side, now you want to be light and you want to be love and peace, that you still gonna have problems. Like just because you change don't mean life immediately get easy because now you want to be like a good person and you want to. So that's that's what I tell, because I thought like as soon as I chose peace, that like everybody would be peaceful with me or this like, so like I guess that's the thing, is just to not expect anything from to change or be different because of what you're doing. Like you still gonna experience life. But it is many perks and blessings that do come with doing the right thing. But I just say that's what I realized, that life is still life regardless of what you do. So that's
Yeah,
what I tell myself, is to just understand that, so I wouldn't have been as emotional. Like, well, why people treat me like this and I'm trying to do the peace or do the right thing, or like I could have been more understanding around on that and not really be myself as much as I did. So
yeah. Well, that's that's great awareness. And as you say, it's something that is hard won in a sense by trying things and realizing that there is still friction in the world that we are going to rub up against. Um, but realizing that that friction isn't personal.
no,
If it feels personal, we're creating that.
yeah,
And with that knowledge, with that self-awareness, comes a whole load of freedom. And I think that's the wave that you guys have been riding. And there is no way back then you'd have known where you are now. And it'd be the same turning around now, going, okay, and so what are the next 9 years got to come? Who knows? It's all to play for. And that's what's exciting.
yes, it is. It is. It's too exciting for me. Like it really is, because we finally like are getting to the point where I could see the seeds that I planted and that we planted, and that and that's where what I realized, like I finally could see, like I finally could feel all of the energy that I put into the universe back. So
Yeah, that's cool. And given the fact you've been running now for 9 years, um, there are generations is a bit of a leap, but there are, you've got years worth of peer groups of young people that have been through your program. Um, what feedback are you getting from them and the community about how life is now for them compared to how they thought it might be, or how how people expected it to play out?
So for our fourth through eighth graders, it's really limitless for them because they still fresh and they still have the ability to think outside of the constraints of the world or the price or whatever that a person could say that's stopping them from doing their dream. So with them, us creating the safe space for them, a lot of them have expressed that they've never really been able to be vulnerable or talk about how they feel or really even understand how the the role that they feelings play in the actions that come from them in the real time. So what I would say is the biggest thing what a lot of my fourth and eighth graders say is that Rebels for Peace give them something that no one could take away from them, which is a foundation and understanding that they are in control of their reality, to not be a product of your environment, but to allow your environment to be a product of you, and to do that by standing up and showing up in a way that you know is productive, that you know is peaceful. And that's what I would say. Like a lot of our youth and going on, like since we first started was all about just seeing somebody that resembled them doing the right thing. Like,
Mm.
wow, like I want to be like you guys when I grow up. I want to spread peace. I want to be a positive role model and contribute something to society. Like that was a big thing too, just our presence and us coming and them seeing us and being like, wow, like you guys really standing for peace amongst all of this violence, amongst all of the things that's going on in our community. A lot of our youth have never really realized how their feelings affect their day-to-day actions. A lot of my youth are also being raised by single parents or their grandparents. A lot of my youth have also lost mothers, fathers, cousins, brothers and sisters to gun violence. So a lot of them also speak on how they're able to free themselves from that pain, free themselves from that that retaliation or that anger
Mhm.
that come from losing someone or from losing something. And a lot of them are able to really just redirect themselves to who they are and know that it's okay to let things go. Where I come from, we got a real reactive um community. You say something to me, I say something to you. You hit me, I hit you. It's everything's like back to back to back. It's super reactive. And it's not a lot of accountability in that situation. And that's a big thing that we allow our youth to reflect on is the role that they play in every situation. And a lot of them, especially the staff and the principals, and even in the community, I've talked about how we've seen less fights, we've seen more reflection amongst our youth. And even if there is a fight or a situation that escalate, we done seen more accountability after that. To where now, even okay, yes, the kid's fault, but now after that fight, he able to realize, you know what, I could have walked away or I could have did something different. And we still
Mm.
getting closer to a solution than ever. So that's what our fourth through eighth graders, and then with our 16 through 24-year-olds, we hitting them a little bit heavier. Like we got a higher expectation for the 16. I mean, with our fourth to eighth graders, we're more understanding, we're more, and it's the same love and compassion for the 16 through 24-year-olds, but we're just showing them, we're just them. Like
Yeah.
I'm 27. My the two facilitators, Mel is 22, Logan is 26. So we all still we were just 16 through 24. So we very understanding with them, but the biggest thing they get to take away is a better version of themselves. Like I said, a lot of the youth rebel against one thing in them that's holding them back, whether that's if they say they introverted, if they say they are angry, if they say whatever labels that they
Mhm.
put over themselves that is condemning them from not being able to go all in on their dreams or their goals or seeing the potential that they have, we challenge that for 6 weeks. And a lot of times they are free because they realize that that project that they've been pursuing don't take 3 years. They were able to do something in 2 hours, in 6 weeks. And let me explain this too, because the internship have three different versions. It has a rebel up where it's just all about them focusing on leadership and agency and becoming a better version of themselves. We have the creativity internship where we get creatives from around the city, dancers, authors, musicians, whatever skills you can imagine. And we bring all of those type of youth in. And then we have the internship to hire, which is where that one is for 18 through 24-year-olds, where I explain we bring them in and then they go through the 6 week internship. And then from there, we choose 1 to 2 youth and then invest in them to become Rebel for Peace facilitators. So each internship is all pushing them towards becoming a better version of themselves, but it's just in a different way. So, like for our
Mm.
creativity internship, we done seen youth create masterpieces, projects, wrote books, put together marches where hundreds of people came out. Um, just them going in that 6 weeks and creating in 2 hours and 1 hour in 1 week a project that they might have thought took them 2 years, took them 2 weeks. We pushed them past a lot of the limits that we naturally set on ourselves as humans, and as well as not having the time and space to focus in on whatever they set goal is. So that's a lot of time what we did was get them that space to focus. And they come up with masterpieces. They come up with things that are extremely creative, that reflect their inner truth, who they are. And they take away a tool that no one can take away from them, which is it's all on you. That's just what it is. And especially when they see us and how young we are and how much work we've put in, and we telling you guys like, hey, all you gotta do is do it. And this is how. This is what's gonna come with it. Here's some mental and well-being tools that you could reflect on as well through that process. And then, like I say, we expose them to different industries. We bring in different leaders to come in, and it's an amazing experience. Like we didn't have like a business day where we had different entrepreneurs come in, and we had people come from all over the world. Like we had somebody come from Germany, we had people come from the UK, we had people come from California, different places of the state. So it's like a real experience for the youth to interact with people that they naturally won't have the time to, and to just really go all in on themselves. So
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. What's been the thing you've been most surprised about by this whole adventure you've been on?
um I get the time go fast.
Yeah.
That's like uh that's the biggest thing I've been reflecting on. Like time go fast. I was just 18 yesterday. I was just 19. So it's like that's the biggest thing I've been reflecting on is like what I've been doing with my time and how it started like in small increments of like my capacity and what I was able to do consistently, which was which why I really started to notice my growth like maybe like 3 years ago.
Mhm.
I'm really hard on myself, so I don't really give myself a lot of credit. But in that time, I was realizing like um I was super zoomed in on who I wanted to be now. Like who I am right now, I been was focusing on that then. But I didn't know exactly what it looked like. I
Mhm.
just knew that I wanted to be in the position that I'm in. But the thing was, I guess about the time just made me realize how much I didn't enjoy or appreciate the journey
Mhm.
as much as I could have. Now that um, my a lot of the people that I had with me day to day are moving on, and I might not have access to certain energy or people that I usually had, and that's why I'm starting to realize like how a lot of times like for me personally I didn't appreciate a lot of stuff I had until it was gone like
Mhm.
in that time. So like now in time I'm just reflecting on like being super present during things and like being like this is the last moment or this the last conversation or this the like everything is like super intentional for me now. Like even when I received the award, like I'm sitting right here, and then to my left is my mother, my executive assistant, my PR marketer, and then my videographer, and then to my right, it's my youth facilitator, my trainer, bilingual facilitator, my program coordinator, and I'm just sitting there like this crazy. Like I'm about to receive an award today. I got my whole team here, and I'm super present. Like this the last day of my life. Like I'm like here, like, and I never did that before. So I guess like in time, that's what I've been like. My biggest reflection was to just be more present with everything. I was trying to save the world. I needed to get all of the kids programmed. I needed to get impact happening for peace. We need to see something. And I was so trying to put a fire out that I never sat back and realized how much if the fire went down and
Hmm.
how much we achieved.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest thing is in time with that. So
What a cool lesson to get when you're 27. You know, and also what a cool lesson to hand on to those fourth to eighth graders, the 9 to 14-year-olds.
yeah.
Imagine, just imagine what life would be like growing up from that age, knowing that that's true.
Mm,
That's what's on offer. Um, and that's what's really, really exciting.
yes.
Um, because by learning those lessons for ourselves, we get to hand them on in our own way, in a way that we have no idea how someone else is going to hear. But if it lands for that individual, that's life changing in a transformational way that's going to have a big impact on the whole world.
Yes.
And
Good.
you've been sprinkling that gold dust for 9 years in a bunch of young people. How cool is that?
It's a dream. It is a dream. And now, like if I when I wake up and I just go to the schools and I just some days where I just want to be on the ground and connect and feel and that I had that opportunity because like I've been out of facilitation for the last 2 years. That's that's like one of the hardest things that I had to do was become the executive director. and
Hmm.
and because the program outgrew itself. So, you know, I had no other choice but to then create an operating system so the other people could become facilitators and start thinking different around the impact that I was making versus to it being all on me
Hmm.
every day. My energy, what I if I show up or not is the impact for Rebels for Peace versus to now my team, me, my board, many others are responsible for the impact that's
Yeah.
happening. So
Yeah. It's one of those interesting lessons in leadership, I suppose, that you only really experience as you step into those kind of roles. Um, I was lucky that I went into the army in a leadership role. So at 21, 22, I was commanding people. Um, and so that, I didn't know any different on the way through, but you're right. Because you're focused on more than just you, um, you don't get an opportunity to get your hands dirty and do the actual delivery of whatever it is that you're doing. Um, and yeah, it doesn't mean to say you can't occasionally, but if you're doing it all the time, you're failing the organization. And it's one of those things that you temper, I suppose, as you play. But I think the other thing that you pointed out there is it isn't all on you. Um, the thing I've noticed, both from a military perspective but also any organization actually, um, the more an organization is linked to the position of a single person or a small group of people that are pivotal to the running of it, then there becomes a nervousness to it. Whereas if you have an organization that is self-forming, self-healing, and it doesn't matter if someone's sick or whatever it might be, or on holiday, um, or worse, then you've got a sustainable organization that's going to fly. And again, that's something that you have just articulated. You know, that's something you're seeing. You've created something that has legs that will run on without you guys being there. That's, you know, that's really doing something for the long term. And I think that, you know, that's wonderful to realize at the stage that you're at the moment. Um, but yeah, allow your hands to get dirty occasionally. Get back in the classroom every now and again. Keeps it
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, my hands been they've been fundraising.
That's cool. That's cool. That's important stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, jump back in the classroom every now and again and
Yes.
have some fun there. Remind yourself how difficult a task it is, but also how fun it is,
Yeah.
because it'll give you more drive and what's the word? Energy to take back into the fundraising.
Yes. It always do. Like I always end up going to the neighborhood before an event or something. It just always naturally happen to where I go see everything and what's going on. Then I'm like, so it's always more change to make. It's always
Mhm.
more impact to make. There's always more lives to change, and that's a big thing I learned too. Like soon as you save or help somebody, it's another person that also need assistance. So just being open with yourself, that's what I've been working on is like being grace, having grace for myself
Mhm.
and being human. And because I'm in Chicago, so unfortunately, a lot of violence is normalized to where people pass away every other day, you know. So if you pushing peace or you trying to create a new narrative for your people and your community, then and every time you look up, it's a shootout, 50 plus shots, one child shot, two people. You know, it's a battle
Mhm.
because it's always happening. So it's always like something that would make you feel heavier or like is what you doing putting a dent in something or is what so you gotta I'm just saying this for people no matter what you're doing you gotta just push through and know that you're bringing value to your family or to life or to your community because it's always going to be something to contradict what you're doing so just being able to see through that in the last few years on how like I'm not moved by the negativity or the stuff that's going on, but I am aware that we still have work to do.
I think there's always work to do, but not because we're not doing good enough, you know, a good enough job at the moment. And you've touched thousands of lives, and each of those lives you've touched as an organization is a light bulb that's going on in a world that wasn't there before. And and that light will be getting passed without people coming to your program. So the more light bulbs you can turn on, you're exponentially turning on more light in Chicago.
That is well put, Dave. That
You
is
know,
well put.
You're creating ripples in the world that you have no idea of the effect, other than the fact that it's positive.
Yes.
And that is huge.
Thank you. I'm honored. So to be able to do something for anybody other than myself, coming from being super into myself, coming from a single mother and not seeing the value of helping nobody because of my conditions or what I didn't have, and being set free from that to then consider others and be the change I want to see and be open, be coachable, all from being the opposite. And that's why I try to tell a lot of people like I wasn't always who I am. So you got to work on yourself. Like you got to take accountability for who you're not to then become who you want to be. And I felt like you always like who you are, your potential, what you able to do or offer, your skill, your superpower. Like it's always been there, but it's just like we in the way
Mm.
of our maximum potential. So once you realize your biggest enemy, then that's when you can set yourself free. Every time when I want to work out, if something come up in my head, oh no, don't do it. Every time I want to do something better for myself or make a better decision, my ego and pride come up. Don't let them talk to you like that. You're this and that. It's always something that's coming up for me to not do what I said or not be who I was gonna be. So just knowing that that's what life is. Like it's a constant battle of challenging who you say you are. Because since when I chose peace, believe that I've had to show the universe that's what I want and show God that like God been testing that like okay you really peaceful you really for the people okay well then let's see in moments of like in real moments like the $250,000 contract that we had with the Office of Social and Emotional Learning, we lost. They called us randomly and just was like, we don't have no more money. And that's in the prime of after now I just scaled up, hired all different staff, expanded the program into 6 different schools. And then this is with promise from, we were supposed to grow. So, but things happen. So we expecting to now go from 6 schools to 10 schools. And now I'm about to scale up again. And then whatever happened to where on their end, they didn't have the funding for us to go to that next step because we had nothing but amazing testimonials
Mhm.
and surveys from staff and the community showing the impact of Rebels for Peace. So it was just heartbreaking in that moment and challenging. Like it was a big challenge and still working back from becoming fully sustainable from, that being a huge part of the Mini Rebels program being offered to the neighborhood at a no cost agreement, meaning like the schools naturally can't afford the $12,000 program for 25 weeks. So that's why they blessed us to bless the neighborhood to where we were able to go to all the schools and say, hey, we can work with you guys for 25 weeks. We just need space and youth. So now it added additional layer to where, now instead of being able to go all in on impact and how to get better data and how to bring more resources and opportunities to the program, it's been about sustaining the program. So, and I've been, carrying a lot of that weight, and I would do it, and I've been honored to do it for the community and for the youth, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's ups and downs, and And you will be challenged to see like, is this really what you want to do? Or are you just gonna walk away? Or are you just gonna this or whatever the case may be? So that's just what I say. I've been being tested, I've been being challenged, and I'm grateful that I'm able to partake in this and figure it out. I've been getting super creative. Um, I got the Rebel Games. The Rebel Games it's therebelgames.com. It's where you go to create a team for supporting our youth. You can sponsor one youth for $40 a month, which is $480 annually, and a class of 25 for $12,000. And you go on there, you create you a team. I made a cool promo video explaining everything about the Rebel Games. And like I said, we here for the youth. We here for Chicago. We here for peace. Like we're enforcing peace being normalized in the area where people scared to go to, where violence is what we've been known for many years. And we're challenging that. We rebelling against that. We the rebels for peace. And yeah.
Prince, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a lot of fun. Before we wrap up, this is going out at the end of November, and I know there's something you want to share around how people might be able to help you, how they might be able to find you as well. So yeah, over to you.
Prince Jimmar on Instagram, on Facebook, all platforms you want to find me. Rebelsforpeace.org for our website, therebelgames.com to support and sponsor youth, and Rebels for Peace on all platforms if you want to follow and support us on social media. Thank you so much, Dave, for the opportunity. I'm Prince Jimmar. I'm representing peace and love and the Rebels for Peace here on the south side of Chicago.
You are very welcome, and thank you so much for coming and sharing with us today. Um, it's been a lot of fun, and you are doing amazing things in your community. But not only in your community, it's sharing light all around the globe. People are watching what you're up to, and hopefully, this will introduce you to a few more people along the way.
Thank you, Dave.
You're very welcome. Speak soon. Take care.
Thank you for joining us today. If you've enjoyed the conversation, feel free to subscribe and join me and my new guests next time. If you're interested in the work I'm doing, or you think I can be of service to you or your organisation, please email dave@simplicityofmind.co.uk. Remember, see if you can find time to slow down and reflect. Those simple ideas might be worth listening to. Take care, and I hope you can join me in a couple of weeks.